So guys, welcome to the day 7 of our 30-day Faceless YouTube channel challenge. And in this particular episode, we'll be talking about how to edit your Faceless YouTube videos and make sure you don't just edit them randomly, but you edit them with quality, because quality is really important. How you edit your videos determine how long people are going to watch them. So because the more people watch your videos, the more the algorithm is going to recommend it, and the more chance you have to actually going viral again. So if you've watched from episode 1 to 6 before, then let me know that in the comment section, and if you haven't as well, do well to let me know down in the comment section as well. So guys, with this said, let's get down to the episode 7. Let me share with you how you can actually edit your Faceless YouTube videos and make sure you are getting top quality out of it. Now for me, I'm going to use a video editor like DaVinci Resolve. Now all that aside, let's get down to actually editing the video. Now the first thing you need to do is simply click on where it says new project. Now you need to title your project. So basically I'm going to say why the rich wake up at 4 a.m. Now I basically choose my title, then I'll click on create. Now this will take me straight to my video editing interface. Now over here is where I need to import in the medias. Now the first thing I need to do is simply get my audio clip. So basically I'll just come over to import media. Now first things first, I'm going over to the folder. Now I'm going to get my audio clip, which was generated with CapCut. I've actually shown you guys how you can do this as well. Now here is it. It's just 3 minutes 47 seconds long. Now I'll get it in here. Now here is the full audio clip, so I'll just drag it and place it under here where I should place the audio clip. Now the next thing I need to do is simply, first of all, I need to play this particular video and then know exactly where the section 1 ended before the section 2. In this way, I'll be able to know the right media to actually pull in. So for that, I'll come back to the script again. Now over here at the script, let me just take a look. Say you've heard it before. Successful people wake up at 4 a.m. Now I'll just skip over to the end, which is either way you won't see 4 a.m. the same way again. Now the next thing you need to do after knowing the beginning of that particular section and the end is simply you head over to your video editor, which is VN right here, and then once you come over here, you just play it and then listen to it. You track those two places.
You've heard it before. Successful people wake up at 4 a.m. But why? What's so magical about this hour? Today, we'll break down the real reasons behind this habit and the speech that changed how thousands see early mornings forever. This isn't about cliché motivation, it's about strategy, biology, and power. By the end of this video, you'll either be inspired or challenged. Either way, you won't see 4 a.m. the same way again.
Now, that is the end of that section. So once I mark the end of that section, I'm basically going to use a timestamp, like a marker, to just mark it to know that that is the end of that section. Or basically the best thing is simply use the split option. Now over here on DaVinci Resolve is known as the blade option, where you can just use letter B to get it. So if you are using CapCut, it might be called the same blade, or in some video editor it's known as the scissors, in some it's known as the split. So basically just go for either of those. Then you basically just split the clip into 2. Now you've seen where the first section ended. Now in this first section, the media that the AI suggests for us is basically, let me come over to my browser, Windows tab, and then come over to Chrome. Now it says, B-roll of a clock striking 4 a.m. So this one is basically showing a clock striking at 4 a.m. Quiet city street before dawn. Now basically let me just get the clip of 4 a.m. So I'll come back to my video editor. Now I'll right click and then come over to where it says import media. Now first, a clock striking 4 a.m. So I guess this is it. Let me play it and see if that is it. Okay, so that is it. Now I'm just going to delete it off and then reset my clips back to default. Now I'll just open it in the preview screen and I'll come over here and I just drag the video itself and keep the audio away from it. Now I'll have to play it and then need to make sure that each of the points are well marked to what exactly they need to be, because when you read through the script, every single word has its own media that is entitled to it. So you need to really pay attention to it to make sure that what the voiceover is matching up with the media that is showing. Is very important.
You've heard it before. Successful people wake up at 4 a.m. But why? What's so magical about this hour? Today, we'll break down the real reasons behind this habit and the speech that changed.
So basically, I'm going to listen to it again. I need to cut some parts off. I need to mark where the first 4 a.m. was mentioned.
Successful people wake up at 4 a.m.
Now I'm just going to minimize the clip to that particular section so that we can meet up with where it says 4 a.m. Now let's play it.
You've heard it before. Successful people wake up at 4 a.m.
Exactly. This is perfectly matched now. Now I'm going to split it and then split it off and then remove this other part because it's no longer needed. All we needed to make sure is that the first section of the video matches with the 4 a.m.
You've heard it before. Successful people wake up at 4 a.m.
Exactly. Perfectly matched. Now the next thing that was suggested here, let me go back to the script. Come over here. It says what? Quiet city street before dawn. Okay. Now basically you import the next, a quiet city street before dawn. Now import media. Now basically I'm going to go over here and then quiet city street before dawn. Okay, here is it. I had one here. I know I downloaded multiple for each of the sections. Now basically I'll just drag it into it as well.
But why? What's so magical about this hour? Today, we'll break down the real reasons behind this habit and the speech that...
Okay, now next up is basically I'm going to get the next media, Windows tab. So in case you're wondering what I'm using to pull up this, I'm basically using Windows and tab option on my Windows laptop. Now I see hotel of a person walking alone with gym bag in hand, inspiration of clips of successful entrepreneurs, blood faces or creative common. Now basically I'm just going to import all of those in. Come over in here. Now I'll go back, import the media. Now basically I'll just look through this. Okay, successful entrepreneurs, this is it. And then a C hotel of a gym, here is it. Now I'm just going to drag these two in. Now what I'm going to do here is basically like merge these two together. Now I'm going to get this one here, pull it over here, pull it in here, pull it in here. Now I'm just going to delete it off here. I need to open anyone that has audio. I'll first of all open it up and then drag just the video clip over it because that is what I want. Now let me play it into it and see what happens.
At the end of this video, you'll either be inspired or challenged. Either way, you won't see 4 a.m. the same way again.
Now this is exactly what the AI instructed. Now basically end it up here. So now guys, now for the sake of this video and not to keep the video so long to distract you, what I'm basically going to advise you to do is simply understand what I'm doing here. We play the video, we play the audio first, and then we understand the point A and B of a particular section, because when you are generating the script, you have each section, section 1, section 2, section 3. So what you need is simply understand section 1, get the media that are required for section 1, and then make sure you split the audio for section 1 and then know exactly where it stops. Now this is what I did first. I first of all cut the audio, so meaning that from this beginning to this place is the section 1 of the video. Now I placed in the medias according to how the AI actually instructed, in a way that actually matches up with the script itself. Now the next we need to do is simply there will be a little bit of audio gap in between some clips. So in this situation, what you need to do is simply make sure you cut it off. Like for example, if you look in between this place and this, there's some minor slim areas. Now these slim areas don't show any wavelength, so for that reason we need to cut it off so that there is no boring moment within the video. Now we'll bring it in here. Now this is the first thing. One, we've gotten the audio, we know how we can actually mark it out. Secondly, we arrange our clips in according to how the video actually wants it. Now the next thing we need to do here is simply, we can't just let these clips play into each other. Let me mute it. Now we can't just let these clips just play into each other like this. It doesn't really make any sense. So what we need to do is simply, we need to add a little bit of transition. So how do you add this transition to your clips? Now what you need to do is simply come over here, come over to, depending on your video editor, where the transition is might be different. Now I'm using DaVinci Resolve. With DaVinci Resolve, the transition is at the effect tab. Once you click on effect, it shows you the video transition, audio transition, and every single thing. So now we need to add a transition in between these two clips so that they can just fade in into each other. So for that, there are so many options. You have the deep to color, the non-addictive dissolve. Let me take a look at it. The smooth cut. Now basically, let me just place it in here, see how it looks. Let me just add it up. Let's see how it looks. Now let me play it and see how it goes. So it just has this smooth cut into each other. Now basically, you need to add a little bit of transition in between each of the scenes. So you just have to play with the transition. There's no specific transition that I will tell you to use. Like here is addictive dissolve. We can use it for this particular section here as well. Now if you're a total beginner, I will not tell you to go and download DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is somehow complicated, I'm going to be honest with you. Like even when you're adding transitions, or like other video editors, you can just add transition at any point. With DaVinci Resolve, it doesn't just accept transitions anyhow. You have to understand some scopes behind it. So at times, I can just drag clips on top clips, use some basic fading. So one thing you need to know is simply, don't just let the clips jump into each other. Make sure you add transition in between each clip to make sure that there's a proper fade from one scene to the other. So guys, after understanding the idea of adding transitions, the next thing you need to take note of here is simply the coloring. Like for example, you can see from the beginning on here, we had very dark and sharp scenes. However, at this midpoint here, you can see that this scene was very dark. However, this one here is kind of really bright, which doesn't really make much sense, because how do we have dark scene and then this one becomes really bright, which might obstruct viewers and every single thing. So one thing you need to do when you access this sort of transition area is simply, you need to come over to the color grading option in your editor. Now so it depends on the video editor you're using and where to put the color grading. DaVinci Resolve places their menu under here. Now this video is not by any means sponsored by DaVinci Resolve, so I'm just giving you what exactly I know. So basically, let me just add a new section. So let me put this one back. This is the default view. Now let me just add another one to it. Add node. Now this way I'm going to put the editing. So I'll show you a little bit different. You can see I'll just make it a little bit darker. Now I might increase I'll drop the side as well, and then look for the red icon and then reduce the red part in the edit. So just make sure that the scenes have some similarity. Now for example, if you want to see the difference between the two nodes, like for example, if I should turn this off right now, you can see this is the original appearance, which was really so white and blurred. Now you can see with this new effect, it looks a little bit more normal. Now I can come over here and still add another one node. I'll just come over here to add node, add another serial. Now with this one, now I can go a little bit more and then add some heating to it. Now I can probably use this one to add some heating to the video itself. Now this is some more in-depth aspect. Let me just use the basic part of it. Now you see, it's becoming a little bit, it's getting that reddish appearance as well, but then I have to make sure it's not that too much. Now a little bit more normal. Now if you should come back to the editing, from here to this, Now you see it's no longer as white as it was before. So if I should come back to the screen over here, let me come back here. If I should turn this off, you see how it is. Turn this off, you see how it is. Now if I can keep this off, keep this on, now you see. So basically you need to add a little bit more color grading so that the two scenes will not look so much different from each other. Like if I go back right now, I'm going to do a little bit more work on each of these scenes to make sure that they pop a little bit more better than they are right now. Now after adding this color grading to make sure the scenes don't look too much far apart, the next thing you need to do here is basically add a background sound. Now when you are editing your videos, your faceless videos, you know that there's no human being there interacting with the people, making the scene engaging. So what do? What you basically need to do here is simply add some background sound to it, like maybe some cool background music. Now in my own situation, I have a lot of background sounds and music that I use. So if I should just type in hash in here right now, where's the, this, if I should type in this right now, you see I already have a background sound and music, like a combine of over 764 sound and then music that I can use on my video background. And I also have some of them in my smart bin here, my master smart bin here, that I can actually use. I have a fixed background audio that I use for all my videos. Now how do you get all this copyrighted free background music like the one you are hearing in this particular video you are watching right now? Now if you are looking for background audios without any copyright problem, come over to the website Faceless. Just come over to Faceless. Now I'll come over to the home page. Now just come down to the footer section. Now could be a little bit hard to get. So let me just say, just basically type copyright free music Faceless. Just type it up like that in your browser. And this one is why I don't like using Chrome. Too much interrogation. This is why I use Microsoft Edge. Now I'm just going to verify, and then now you can just come over here. I see you have a lot of copyright free sound over here. Now over here, what I need you to do is simply, now ChatGPT is going to suggest the kind of song you should use in your background. Like for this one here, let's look, it's a CapCut inspiring instrumental. Look, a CapCut very tempo, slower during deep narration, rising intensity, and then during quotes and speechless. Say CapCut inspiring. Now all you need to do is simply come over here and then come over to where it says mood. Now you can basically look for something uplifting or relaxing. You just come over here then so you basically just select the type of song you want to, click on and apply, and then movement, you can come over here, you can say smooth, fast, running, slow. So you can just come over to changing tempo. Now some search features you might not see any song, so what do? You basically just clear, and then you are going to get some cool songs in it also based on your filters. Now some filters might not show you any song, so you just have to keep filtering until you see a song that matches the scene you actually want to do. Like basically I did not just wake up and then get the sound I want. I basically had to do a little bit more searching before I got the sounds I need. And on the other hand as well, you can also create your own custom sound using a website like Suno. Now this way you'll be able to create your own personal beat for your video backgrounds. Now for example, you can just come over here and then CapCut inspiring instrumental, and then just type it in here, and then now they are going to generate an instrumental. You can also come over here and use it to create your own background song as well. Now basically guys, this is just how you do. Now basically you just have to drag your background audio behind it after adding all the necessary features, such as you don't need any pro editing knowledge. All you need is simply understand the chapters, separate the chapters, add the clips according to how the AI suggested for the chapters. You do a little bit more color grading, add your transition, and then add your background sound, and you're basically good to go. After that, you basically come over to export, and then you export your video. As simple as that. So guys, this is basically how you edit faceless videos. No much complication needed. Now I can't do a 1 to 100 editing tutorial about this because the video might be too long, because we are going to talk about, basically for me, I'm already good at editing and the software I'm using can even push me to do way more. So we are just going to end this here. Basically follow the instructions that I shared with you right here, and this will be enough for you to edit your faceless video. So guys, see you in my next video. Bye.